December 4th, 1872. The vast, empty expanse of the Atlantic Ocean. A lone vessel, the De Gratia, cuts through the choppy waters between the Azores and Portugal. Her captain, David Morehouse, peers through his telescope. Another brigantine, about 6 miles distant, is drifting erratically. Her sails torn and flapping uselessly in the wind. She seems to be in distress, yet flies no distress signal. As they draw closer, an unsettling quiet hangs over the drifting ship. Te heil silence. Again, silence. The name on her bow reads, Mary Celeste. Captain Morehouse knows this ship. In fact, he had dinner with her captain, his friend Benjamin Briggs, just before they both set sail from New York. A sense of dread creeps in. He dispatches his first mate, Oliver de Bea, and 2 sailors to board the mysterious vessel. What they find will become one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time. The Mary Celeste is a ghost ship. Not a soul is aboard. The ship is seaworthy. Her cargo, 1,701 barrels of dinner-tired alcohol, mostly intact. In the crew's quarters, clothes are neatly folded, razors and pipes left behind. In the captain's cabin, personal effects are undisturbed. A sewing machine with a small bottle of oil stands ready for use, a child's dress lying beside it. A logbook sits on the mate's desk, its last entry dated November 25th, 10 days prior. The entry notes the ship's position, just off the Azores island of Santa Maria. Nothing seems out of the ordinary, but there are strange details. The ship's only lifeboat is missing. One of the 2 pumps has been disassembled. There's over 3 feet of water in the hold. Not a dangerous amount, but significant. The ship's chronometer and sextant are gone, and perhaps most chillingly, a 6-month supply of food and fresh water remains untouched. It's as if the 10 people on board Captain Briggs, his wife Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and the 7 men crew vanished into thin air. Where did they go? And why would they abandon a perfectly sound ship in the middle of the ocean? To understand this puzzle, we must go back to the beginning. The Mary Celeste began her life as the Amazon, built in Nova Scotia in 1861. Her early years were plagued by misfortune. Her first captain died of pneumonia just days into her maiden voyage. She collided with another ship in the English Channel and later ran aground. After being sold and repaired, she was renamed Mary Celeste and eventually purchased by a consortium, with Benjamin Spooner Briggs as a part owner and her new captain. Captain Briggs was a seasoned, respected mariner, known for his fairness and piety. He was not the type to panic or make rash decisions. He handpicked his crew, men of good standing. His wife Sarah, an adventurous spirit, decided to join him on the voyage, along with their young daughter, Sophia. Their older son, Arthur, was left behind with his grandmother to attend school. On November 7, 1872, loaded with industrial alcohol destined for Genoa, Italy, the Mary Celeste sailed out of New York Harbor into the vast Atlantic and into history. For the first 2 weeks, the journey seemed routine. The ship's log recorded rough weather, but nothing a sturdy brigantine couldn't handle. And then, after November 25th, the log falls silent. When the De Gratia crew brought the Mary Celeste into Gibraltar, a formal investigation was launched by the Vice Admiralty Court. The Queen's Proctor and Admiralty, a man named Frederick Soley Flood, was immediately suspicious. He was a man who believed in human wickedness above all else. He couldn't accept that the crew had simply disappeared. His mind immediately jumped to foul play. Flood's initial theory was that the crew of the De Gratia had murdered everyone on the Mary Celeste to claim the salvage reward. He ordered the ship to be meticulously examined, searching for any sign of violence. His men found what they thought were bloodstains on the captain's sword and on the deck. However, further testing revealed these stains weren't blood at all. The sword was merely rusted. The theory collapsed, but not before tarnishing the reputation of Captain Morehouse and his crew, who eventually received a salvage award far smaller than they deserved, a clear sign of the court's lingering suspicion. Flood's next theory was even darker. He proposed that the crew of the Mary Celeste had gotten into the cargo of alcohol, gotten drunk, and then murdered Captain Briggs, his wife, and their child in a mutinous rage before escaping in the lifeboat. This sensationalist theory captured the public imagination. It was a dramatic, simple explanation, but it had major flaws. The crew had been described as peaceful and professional. Captain Briggs was known as a fair leader. More importantly, the cargo was not potable drinking alcohol. It was denatured industrial alcohol, essentially poison. It's highly unlikely that experienced seamen would make such a fatal mistake. The mutiny theory, while popular, simply didn't fit the evidence. So, if it wasn't mutiny, what was it? Pirates were another popular suggestion. Perhaps buccaneers had boarded the ship, killed everyone, and fled. But this also makes little sense. The Mary Celeste wasn't a treasure ship. Her cargo of alcohol would have been of little interest to pirates. And crucially, the valuable personal belongings of the crew and the captain's family were left untouched. Pirates are in the business of plunder. They don't typically leave money, jewelry, and other valuables behind. The ship itself was left adrift, not taken as a prize. The pirate theory quickly sank. With the obvious explanations debunked, more creative, and sometimes fantastical theories began to emerge. Could a giant squid or sea monster have attacked the ship, snatching everyone from the deck? This was a popular idea in an era when the deep ocean was still a place of immense mystery and superstition. Some proposed an encounter with a waterspout, a powerful marine tornado that could have terrified the crew into abandoning ship. Others whispered of ghosts, curses, and even alien abduction. These theories, while exciting, lack any shred of evidence and belong more to the realm of fiction than fact. Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, even wrote a famous short story that offered a fictional, racially charged explanation, which many readers mistook for fact, further muddying the waters of the real mystery. So, where does that leave us? We're left with a few more plausible, scientific theories. One of the most compelling centers on the cargo itself: the barrels of denatured alcohol. The theory goes like this. Some of the 1,701 barrels may have leaked. The alcohol vapors would have filled the hold, creating a volatile, enclosed space, fearing an imminent explosion. Perhaps from a small, contained blast that would not have significantly damaged the ship, but would have terrified everyone. Captain Briggs made a calculated decision. He ordered the crew to abandon ship temporarily. This theory explains a lot. It explains why the lifeboat is missing. It explains why the main hatch was found open, perhaps to ventilate the hold. The crew, including the captain's wife and child, would have piled into the lifeboat, possibly tethering it to the Mary Celeste with a long tow line, intending to wait at a safe distance for the danger to pass. But then, disaster. A sudden squall could have snapped the tow line, or the wind could have filled the Mary Celeste's sails and pushed her away faster than they could row. The small, overloaded lifeboat would have been left behind at the mercy of the vast, unforgiving Atlantic. Its occupants would have had little hope of survival. This explanation fits many of the facts. It accounts for the missing lifeboat, the disassembled pump perhaps. They were trying to measure the amount of vapor or liquid in the hold and the general lack of panic or violence. It paints Captain Briggs, not as a man who panicked, but as a cautious captain making a prudent decision to protect his family and crew from a perceived threat of explosion, a threat that may or may not have been real, but one that led to their tragic end. In 2006, scientists at University College London conducted an experiment to test this very idea. They built a replica of the Mary Celeste's hold and ignited butane gas to simulate an alcohol vapor explosion. The result was a pressure wave explosion, a powerful but quick blast of hot gas that created a significant flame and a loud bang, but left behind no soot or scorch marks. Exactly the kind of event that would terrify a crew without leaving any physical evidence of a fire. This experiment lends strong scientific support to the alcohol vapor theory, and so the story of the Mary Celeste endures. It's a tale that has captivated us for 150 years because it represents one of humanity's deepest fears: the unknown. The quiet, empty ship, sailing aimlessly on the ocean, is a haunting symbol of a puzzle without a solution. We have no bodies, no final message, no definitive proof. We only have this silent vessel, a collection of perplexing clues, and our own imagination to fill in the gaps. Was it a freak explosion? A sudden storm? An act of calculated caution that went horribly wrong? We will likely never know for sure. The 10 souls who were aboard the Mary Celeste took their secret with them to the bottom of the sea. Their story remains a chilling reminder that even in our modern world, the ocean is a vast and mysterious place that does not always give up its dead or its secrets. Thank you for watching. If you found this mystery as fascinating as we do, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more journeys into the unexplained.